Part 91. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 913. Escape? How could you let him escape? As he spoke, Su Junming spread his palms, and a purple aura appeared in his palms. A strong sense of curse came from it. Master is still awesome, Sun Shi said happily. Su Junming opened his left palm, and a Bagua disc emerged. The Bagua disc is about 1 foot in diameter. In the middle is a bright blue light group the size of an egg. There are countless blue and white light spots in it, which look like a galaxy. It is the heavenly mystery ball, the natal treasure of the path of destiny that he has practiced for many years. With the help of magic power, the originally flat divine ball instantly became three-dimensional. The 4 symbols, 5 elements, Bagua, heavenly stems, and earthly branches rotate rapidly, like a moving Manhattan ball. The cursed mana in Su Junming's right palm was instantly sucked in. The divine ball of heaven spins faster. At this moment, in a seemingly ordinary courtyard in Chang'an City, the big man who left the Jinghe Dragon Palace suddenly opened his eyes. Something moved in my heart. A simple tortoise shell emerged from the top of his head. The light blue light flashes on the tortoise shell, which is magnificent and mysterious. Someone is trying to figure out my whereabouts again. He stretched out his finger, and the tortoise shell's blue light surged, covering itself in it. Here, the heavenly secret divine ball in Su Junming's palm shook slightly, and the cursed mana contained in it was instantly scattered. His brows furrowed slightly. Tianji Shenkai gradually calmed down. Master, what's wrong? The other party also has a spiritual treasure of the path of destiny in his hand, which is of a higher grade than my heavenly secret divine ball. He uses this treasure to cover his own chi, making it difficult for me to calculate. However, he was a step too slow after all. Let's go to Chang'an City. The 3 masters and disciples jumped up to escape the light and flew straight towards the north. Chang'an, the kingdom of the Sui dynasty, had always been the ruling center of the Sui dynasty before Emperor Yang of the Sui dynasty established Luoyang, the eastern capital. There are hundreds of millions of people in Chang'an City, which is 3,000 miles long and 100 feet high. From the outside to the inside, there are 12 cities. The further inside, the more dignitaries appear, and the center is where the imperial city is located. A total of 365 city gates surround Chang'an City. Tens of millions of troops defended this place tightly. What a glorious city, Sun Shi exclaimed. Looking at the 3,000-foot purple dragon aura above the city, Su Junming nodded slightly. Now Li Tang has not yet reached the moment when he encounters a storm and changes into a dragon. Come on, let's go in. The 3 masters and apprentices followed the flow of people into the city. Master, my energy and blood have been suppressed a lot, Chen Ling said. This is the function of the imperial dragon Qi. As the former capital of the Sui dynasty, the imperial dragon Qi here is second only to Luoyang, Sun Shi said. Oh. Entering the first level of the outer city, along the main street, a dazzling array of tea houses and restaurants come into view. Although the traffickers and lackeys couldn't be called shoulder to shoulder, they were still numerous. Master, do you want to find an inn? Su Junming shook his head. The inn is overcrowded and noisy. It is not a place for monks like us to live. Go to Yahang and ask about renting a courtyard. Sun Shi nodded. You take Chen Ling with you. Just let me know when you're ready. Disciple, obey. Su Junming's figure disappeared instantly. If the master has something to do, the disciple will do his job. Just leave such small things to Sun Shi. Returning to Chongshan residence in Tianwai Shenshan Mountain, he sat cross-legged in the pavilion beside the creation spirit pond in the backyard and took out the jade box presented by the Yuan family. He originally thought that the Yuan family was just a small family with a Yuan Yang inheritance, so what kind of treasure could he have? He never thought that the other party's thank you gift would be hard for him to refuse. The seal on the jade box was removed and opened. In the palm-sized jade box, there was a stone the size of an apple. The stone is round in shape as a whole, and most of it is blood-red translucent glazed body. Only in the center, there is a light cyan mark about the size of a peanut, which looks like a ganoderma lucidum. Overall, it looks like a weird eyeball. Of course, this is only seen with the naked eye. If you observe it with a bronze mirror, you will find that the inside of the eyeball is filled with extremely rich life essence. He was hundreds of times stronger than the current General Su Junming. It's hard to imagine how powerful a life form can be with such abundant life essence. What surprised Su Junming even more was that surrounded by endless divine energy, there was an extremely complex purple restriction that looked like a galaxy in the sky. He had seen the same restriction in the broken bronze sword. The same is true for the restrictions on the Tai Chi diagram and the Qian Kun Ding left by Taoist Qian Kun. He guessed that this was a powerful restriction of the Hunyuan series. At the same time, he also felt a strong sense of cause and effect from this restriction. Subconsciously using mana to drive the purple restraint, the feeling of pushing a huge mountain came into my heart. With the continuous input of mana from the Danshan, the purple restraint finally moved. The next moment, a scarlet light bloomed. Su Junming suddenly felt frightened, as if a disaster was about to happen. At the same time, a wrist-thick scarlet light flew forward like lightning. Not good. As soon as his heart moved, lightning flew out of the bronze mirror, and the clear light of the mirror instantly hit it. As soon as the two sides touched, they died silently. He quickly withdrew his magic power and looked at his calm eyes. Su Junming breathed a sigh of relief. Just now, was that karma? The biggest reason why monks are taboo about cause and effect is karma. Especially after advancing to Deluo, if you want to continue to advance, you have to accept the test of the karma fire of the heavenly tribulation. The pain of burning your body is better than that of thunder. Shua, a ray of light flashed past. Chen Xianzang, wearing a yellow robe and bald head, flew over. Looking at the eyeball Su Junming held in his hand, his eyes shone brightly. What is this? It has such a strong sense of cause and effect. I don't know, I got it by chance. It should be the eyeball of some kind of karma beast. Su Junming threw it away, and Chen Xianzang quickly took over. After holding it in his hand with joy on his face and playing with it for a moment, he shook his head. It's been too long, and the soul mark of the owner of this eyeball has long since disappeared. Su Junming nodded. In addition to its age, the owner of this eyeball is too powerful and has exceeded the scope of his calculations. Unless he can unite his destiny and realize Deluo, there is no hope at all. But with this treasure, my mind and soul supernatural powers can be put to use. Each of Su Junming's 7 soul dharma bodies is born with an innate mind and soul supernatural power. Renwuji's soul binding rope, Dragon Emperor's soul falling bell, Ao Tian's yellow beam illusion world, Tai Zhenjun's 2-5 soul cutting knife. Most of them are powerful killing magical powers. Ao Tian's Huangliang fantasy world is a little inferior, but it can make people with insufficient cultivation and lack of determination easily fall into fantasy dreams, and life and death are in their hands. Compared to the 4 of them, Chen Xuanzang's soul power is completely auxiliary. Call it the wishful body. As long as he imprints his soul mark in his flesh and blood body and cultivates his wishful body, Chen Xuanzang's soul and mana can freely come and go between the wishful body. Unless his soul can be destroyed, or his only body can be killed, he cannot be killed. It is precisely because of this characteristic that Chen Xianzang has been unable to decide on his choice of subject. Because once you decide, you can't change it. Must be cautious. But now that he saw this eyeball containing the great magical power of cause and effect, he instantly decided to make it his main body. Endless years have passed, but the power of this eyeball is still so powerful. It can be seen that at its peak, it must be a powerful existence in the Hunyuan series. Has endless potential. Moreover, It is a body of flesh and blood, which is in line with the choice of becoming the main body. If you are willing, I will give it to you, but from now on your body will be an eyeball. Hee, eyes are just eyes. At worst, I'll just look for a Ruyi body in the future to show off to others. As he said that, Chen Xianzang instantly got into his eyes. The eyeballs, which were originally only the size of apples, quickly expanded. This guy doesn't know any time when he practices. With a finger, Hunyuan Zhenman instantly took his eyes into it. After hesitating for a moment, Su Junming followed and walked in. In the huge void of hundreds of billions of miles, the lunar ghost world with a diameter of 300 million miles is not a drop in the ocean, but it is not much bigger. Most of the rest is nothingness, with occasional debris appearing. This is what the disciples of Chongshan sect have absorbed with the help of the projection of Hunyuan Zhenman. There are so many different kinds, everything is there. As the patriarch, he would not interfere. In just a moment, the eyeball has grown to a huge size. Rolling spiritual energy swarmed in. Su Junming could clearly sense that a huge life essence was gradually becoming stronger, like an ancient behemoth awakening from its slumber. As time passed, the eyeball gradually expanded to 10,000 feet. By this time, its growth rate finally slowed down. Looking at it shrouded in scarlet divine light, it looks like the eyeball of a blood sun hanging high in the universe. Chen Xianzang is a guy who has made a profit. In his hands, this eyeball is just a great treasure at best. I have a broken bronze sword in my hand, so I won't have any use for it. But in Chen Xuanzang's hands, this eyeball can be used as its main body. When the cause and effect are consistent, it can unleash all its potential, and it can even be stronger in the future. Please take some of the innate chi from the immortal island of creation. Su Junming did as he was told, and soon, the billowing Taoist innate spiritual energy turned into a 100-foot-long dragon and flew into the scarlet eyeball. There was a buzz sound, as if I had taken Shiquan Dabu pill. The vast scarlet eyeball swelled rapidly again. 20,000 feet, 30,000 feet. After Su Junming channeled Taoist's innate spiritual energy 12 times, his scarlet eyeballs had expanded to 99,999 feet. Under the heavenly way of the earthly immortal realm, 100,000 feet is a hurdle for this eyeball. Boom! Along with the sound of drought thunder, the calamity energy as black as ink rolled in. But in a moment, the tribulation energy has expanded to millions of miles. Swish, the figures of Dragon Emperor and True Lord Tai appeared next to Su Junming. Oh, what big eyes! Tai Zhenjun saw the scarlet eyes nearly 100,000 feet high in mid-air and immediately exclaimed. What a powerful karma and karma! The Dragon Emperor said solemnly. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 914. My dear, what's going on with these eyes? How did Chen Laolio survive the tribulation? Tai Zhenjun asked. I accidentally got this eyeball. Because it contains strong magical powers of cause and effect, I was chosen by Laolu to be the main deity of his Ruyi body. But I didn't expect that he would overcome the tribulation so quickly. The Dragon Emperor and others knew about Chen Xuanzang's awakened spiritual power. In the past, because Chen Xianzang had never chosen the master of the Ruyi body, he had been practicing in the immortal island of creation. Some time ago, when the two of them survived the catastrophe and became Deluo, they were extremely envious and hesitated whether to use the essence and blood of the Zilong to practice. Become the Lord. Now that Zilong's essence and blood haven't moved, he has chosen an eyeball. I want to see what's so mysterious about these eyes. As he spoke, he subconsciously activated the bronze mirror projection in his danshan. Soon, the surging life essence in the eyeballs, as well as the extremely powerful purple restraint that was seen in the bronze dagger, like an ancient mountain, and completely composed of ancient divine inscriptions, came into view. A look of deep envy appeared on Zhenjun Tai's face. This guy Chen Laoliu is really unlucky. Although this treasure is not as good as the bronze broken sword, its background is completely different. Once you practice it, you can expect a good future. The Dragon Emperor nodded subconsciously. Take your Harazi, everyone has his own destiny. This treasure is the most suitable for Lao Lu, just like the Daoti Neodon was the most suitable for you, Su Junming said. Tai Zhenjun wiped the corners of his mouth subconsciously. Looking at the eyeballs that looked like scarlet sun in the sky, he shook his head. It can't be compared, it can't be compared. Even if I completely digest the Daoti inner elixir, I can only become a great Luo Jingxian if I survive. When this eyeball recovers, at least it will be a Hunyuan celestial immortal. The starting point is much higher than us. If Zuhu and Lung Shi are born in the future, their bodies will be even stronger, the Dragon Emperor said. As everyone's cultivation level continues to improve, the grade of the treasures they obtain becomes higher and higher. Today, Chen Xianzang can use an eyeball with a strong foundation and top-notch karma and supernatural powers as his deity. In the future, it might be the embryo of the innate god from the beginning, or even a stronger treasure. It would be great if I were born later, Tai Zhenjun said enviously. If you want, you can go back now. Giving the Dragon Emperor a blank look, Tai Zhenjun looked in the air. He just said that, but if he was asked to go back, he wouldn't be able to bear it. Compared with the long growth process, the colorful world outside is more attractive. Boom. While the three of them were talking, the thunder in the sky finally fell. The Dragon Emperor and Tai Zhenjun are both figures who have survived the heavenly tribulation. Su Junming is no stranger to the heavenly tribulation that made Deluo successful. But in comparison, Chen Xuanzang's great Luo heavenly tribulation at this moment is much stronger than Dragon Emperor and Tai Zhenjun. Millions of miles of calamity energy turned into billowing thunder, raging fire, and dark wind, and enveloped Chen Xianzang as soon as it came up. The huge power and tyrannical power made the three of them feel slightly excited. But with the foundation of that eyeball, it shouldn't be difficult to survive the great Luo heavenly tribulation. But what happened next was completely beyond their expectations. But he saw that the center of the blood-red eyeball, which was as big as 30,000 feet, and shaped like a ganodermal lucidum, lit up instantly. The next moment, a blood-red divine light pierced the sky. The tyrannical power was like a giant sword in the hands of a god, and the entire calamity cloud was cut in half by it. The light disappeared, and Ji Yun's momentum instantly declined. But soon a huge force of heaven descended, and the calamity cloud that had declined began to expand again. This time it was no longer 1 million miles, but directly raised to 3 million miles. The powerful power of thunder quickly gathered in the center, and the flower of thunder that originally only appeared during the last thunderstorm actually appeared now. Sensing the threat from the thunder, another ganodermal-like pupil appeared on the new giant red eyes. The next moment, the bloody divine light that had appeared innately appeared in the sky again. The two divine lights, like scissors passing by each other, cut the thunder flower into pieces. The majestic thunder was mostly wiped out by the blood-red karma. The power of the heavenly tribulation declined again. The world became silent. Immediately afterwards, rumble. It sounded like a cow roaring, earth-shattering. A powerful anger filled the entire Hunyuan void. Kaka. Lightning flashed and thunder roared, and the billowing calamity aura became denser again. This time, the tribulation energy no longer spreads, but gathers in the middle. The thunder that was 3 million miles away turned into a size of 300,000 feet. But at this moment, the thunder is no longer crimson, but has turned into lavender. This is Deluo level thunder, big hole thunder. When Tai Golden Immortal is promoted to the Great Luo realm, he will indeed experience the test of the big hole thunder during the 12th heavenly tribulation, but it is only a little bit, maybe a few hundred feet, or even a few thousand feet. Tai Zhenjun and Dragon Emperor have more, tens of thousands of feet each. 300,000 feet, this is the first time that everyone has seen it. Even in the ancient books in the past, there is no record of such a powerful tribulation thunder. My darling, Chen Laolio is too strong. He directly confronts the heavenly tribulation, Tai Zhenjun exclaimed. Dragon Emperor and Su Junming were also a little shocked. But what was even more shocking was that, in front of the tyrannical power of the heavenly tribulation, a third ganoderma-shaped pupil appeared above the scarlet eyeballs. The three ganoderma-shaped pupils are precisely arranged according to the orientation of the three talents of heaven, earth, and man. At the same time, an extremely tyrannical rhyme of causality permeated the air. The surrounding spiritual energy swarmed into the eyeballs. Because the speed is too fast and there are too many. Around the scarlet eyeballs, a layer of pale white light thousands of feet thick appeared. Gradually, both parties accumulated savings to the extreme. The next moment, Su Junming and the others understood what Dayanzishan was. Although there was only one sound of thunder, it enveloped the heaven and earth. At the same time, a 30-foot lavender thunder pillar penetrated the sky and the earth. And a powerful blood-red divine light surged up like an erupting volcano. The entire Hunyuan void was shrouded in lavender and blood-red. At the moment when divine thunder and karma collided, everything around him became silent. Time, space, everything came to a standstill at this moment. There is only that lilac and blood-red divine light in the world. Don't know how long it has been. Maybe it's a century, maybe it's a moment. The two divine lights disappeared, and Hunyuan void returned to its previous dark appearance. If it weren't for the scarlet eyeballs still hanging in the air, it would make people feel like they are in a dream. At this point, the thunder, flames, and dark wind that filled the world finally dissipated. A powerful inner demon energy descended from the sky and submerged into his eyeballs. But with the projection of the bronze mirror, the inner demons could not stop Chen Xianzang. Call. Su Junming let out a sigh of relief. This was the first time he had seen such a thrilling tribulation. The tense look on the Dragon Emperor's side also relaxed. His grandma, Chen Laolio, is too strong. After a while, after he absorbs the spiritual energy of creation and his strength reaches a higher level, he will probably be able to go directly to the Great Laiyan Temple to fight with Tathagata, Tai Zhenjun said with envy. Su Junming was too lazy to respond to him. Although the Tathagata Buddha in the earthly immortal realm is just a clone, he has occupied the number of Buddhas in this realm for millions of years. Although his magical power is limited by the earthly immortal realm, he is only a great Luo true immortal, but his understanding of the Tao definitely far exceeds his magical power. Although Chen Xianzang has an amazing background and strong strength, he still has a long way to go before he can surpass Tathagata in the immortal world. Just as the three expected, Chen Xianzang, who also had the projection of the bronze mirror, quickly overcame his final inner demons. The clouds of calamity that filled the sky finally dispersed, and the spiritual energy of creation fell from the sky. After absorbing this spiritual energy, the giant's scarlet eye swelled again. 100,000 feet, 150,000 feet, 200,000 feet, and then it slowly stopped after it doubled. Slowly stabilized at 280,000 feet. Suddenly, there was a bright light. Endless yellow auras spread out. Gradually, a gigantic beast, tens of thousands of feet tall, with yellow hair all over its body, as strong as a mountain, with a wide mouth and fangs, and a shape like an ape, appeared in mid-air. The strange thing is that this beast has no nose or ears. Except for its mouth, it only has a single eye in the middle of its entire face. Although it is only a shallow layer of light and shadow, it exudes a majestic aura that spans eternity and is as powerful as an abyss or a prison. Looking at the light and shadow, Su Junming felt that he was like an ant at the moment, too far behind. Roar! The giant beast looked up to the sky and roared. The earth-shattering roar spanned a long river of time and echoed in hundreds of billions of miles of Hunyuan space. Along with the huge roar, the light and shadow gradually dissipated. In the end, only the giant scarlet eye that reached 290,000 feet was left in the air. However, the giant eye that originally had only one ganodermal lucidum-shaped pupil now has three. Looking at the giant eyes that exuded an astonishing aura, the Dragon Emperor calmed down and said slowly, "Is that thing just now chaos, one of the four evils?" Su Junming nodded. Unsurprisingly, this should be it. This thing disappeared as early as the ancient times. How can you be sure it is it? Tai Zhenjun said. You should read more books at ordinary times, the Dragon Emperor said. With one eye and an ape body, he is good at 3,000 ways is the only record of chaos in ancient books. The reason why chaos is called chaos is because as ancient divine beasts, they are different from white tigers, phoenixes, dragons, giant spirits, and other races. The latter people are basically born gods with the five elements, yin and yang and wind and thunder attributes. But chaos is not the case. The way they awaken is ever-changing and can be any of the 3,000 avenues. This is why they are called chaos. Just when Tai Zhenjun was about to retort, his huge single eye suddenly retracted rapidly. In an instant, he transformed into a handsome middle-aged bald man wearing a light yellow robe with a ganodermal lucidum pattern embroidered on his chest. It was Chen Xianzang. When the light flew over, we could see that although this man's face was solemn, his eyes could not hide the excitement. After the mark of chaos remaining in the deepest part of the one eye was eliminated, this eye now completely belonged to him. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 915. Chen Laoliu, you are really lucky. The single eye of the ancient beast of chaos was actually used by you as your deity. As soon as you took action, you survived the great Luo heavenly tribulation. Judging from your momentum just now, you were even stronger than Long Laoliu. You are so strong, you are making a lot of money, Tai Zhenjun said with envy. Chen Xianzang couldn't help but smile when he talked about his pride. At most, I can advance to Luo true immortal in one round. The foundation of this chaos single eye is too strong. It has just passed through the heavenly tribulation and has already reached the peak of the great Luo celestial immortal. It only needs to be more stable. With the help of the Hunyuan divine sect, it can be practiced for a period of time to advance to the level of the great Luo true immortal. It's a sure thing. Hearing this, Su Junming himself couldn't help but feel envious. Although qualifications are not the key, if they are good, they can save a lot of practice time. It may take others hundreds of years to become an immortal, but with good qualifications, a few years or more than 10 years is enough. Grandma, when I see your bald head, I really want to beat you up. Tai Zhenjun was so envious. Su Junming slapped the magic bag, and a golden red mirror with flashing light flew towards Chen Xianzang. The Hongjing is 1 foot 3 inches in diameter, with divine inscriptions embossed on the back, and its shape is simple and simple. This Tianxin mirror is a low-grade Deluo spiritual treasure that I trained with the Tianxin stone. It has 3 treasures. I will give it to you for the time being. During this time, he has been updating the magical weapons of his disciples. Qin Zhong's desolate armor, Lin Zhenying's Tianying sword, Qiao Shaoxin's fire cloud gourd, Yan Xixia's Kanglong sword box, Su Wang's Fi Yunji, and Dragon Emperor's disciple Zuch Wolong's Taijia white dragon boat has become Deluo Lingbao. Next is the 6th disciple, Tai Hunyuan Patriarch Chen Lin. The heavenly heart mirror was originally intended to be given to him, but now it can only be used to protect Chen Xianzang. After taking away the Tianxin mirror, I want a karma fire red lotus to worship my natal spiritual treasure. Su Junming waved his sleeves, and everyone instantly left the Hunyuan space and came to the backyard pavilion. In the creation spirit pond next to it, 7 red lotuses as big as wheels are growing vigorously. In the middle is a third-grade fire red lotus, which is the lower-grade innate immortal root. The 6 acquired red lotuses around are all its descendants. However, nourished by the surrounding created spiritual energy and the rich Taoist innate spiritual energy, these 6 acquired red lotuses are not like the karma red lotus. They are limited to the innate and immortal spiritual light in the body and are always just low-grade innate spiritual roots. After thousands of years of nourishment, the strongest red lotus has advanced to Tai. Although it no longer has the essence of the innate spiritual root, its spiritual effect when used to refine elixirs or refine weapons is stronger. Chen Xianzang reached out and made a move, and the highest grade acquired red lotus, which was already in the 5th grade, flew into his palm. Regardless of whether the lotus is innate or acquired, the higher the grade, the stronger the effect. The 5th grade red lotus is already the acquired spiritual root of the top grade Tai. After a simple ritual practice, the lotus flower slowly disappeared into Chen Xuanzang's body. The natal spiritual treasure directly imprints the Tao principles that one has understood, and then uses the spiritual energy to nourish and practice it. It is basically consistent with one's own cultivation level and Taoist realm, and will improve as the cultivation level increases. It is different from the magic weapon that is made by the weapon refiner and has almost fixed power. The 4 of them sat down and Su Junming briefly explained the process of obtaining the single eye of chaos. Wanyan Aguda, I didn't expect this old demon to actually be in the earthly immortal realm, Tai Zhenjun said. It was he who destroyed the Jing kingdom in Chixian Shenzhou. With your cultivation level, you can't figure out the whereabouts of Kongsang Mountain, asked the Dragon Emperor. Su Junming nodded and said, this place should be like the Wuji Mountain Qinqin Cave. It is not in the heavenly path of the earthly immortal world, or there is some great treasure that obscures the secret of heaven, otherwise I will not be able to calculate the smallest clue about it. We must catch Wanyan Aguda. Tai Zhenjun's eyes were bright. With a gem like the Wuji Mountain Qinqin Cave in front of him, his expectations for Kongsang Mountain instantly increased countless times. Of course it's not just him, Su Junming, Long Di, Chen Xianzang all want it. Wanyan Aguda has a treasure on his body that covers his own energy. Can you find him, said the Dragon Emperor. Although it is impossible to calculate, as long as the distance is not more than 100 feet, my Tianji divine sphere can sense his aura. Do you need my help? Chen Xianzang said quickly. Now that he has become the master of the Ruyi body, he can't wait to go out and see the colorful world outside. Of course, Su Junming nodded. Now that Chongshan Academy is famous, the 3 of us are already familiar to everyone in the world. As soon as we get close to Bei's Hang, we will be noticed by old demon Wanyan. You are different. No one in the entire Earth immortal world knows you except us. It is convenient for us to find his whereabouts in Chang'an City. If I find the treasure inside Kongsang Mountain in the future, I will choose it first, Chen Xianzang said. No problem. The Hunyuan divine gate in Su Junming's Danshan suddenly flashed with aura. Sun Shi's voice came from it. Master, the house has been found. I know, you clean up first, I'll be out soon. Yes. You two go back. If Wanyan Aguda is captured and Kongsang Mountain is found, I will notify you. After Tai Zhenjun and Dragon Emperor nodded, their figures slowly disappeared. Chongshan Academy now has 2 territories. One is more than 3 trillion miles away, bordering the Chu Empire to the north, the Dayu Empire to the east, most of the Wu clan's Jingshan Mountain to the south, and the southern courtyard of Beihu City of the monster clan's 10,000 Beast Mountains to the west. One is the Biwen, which occupies the 4 counties of Lingling, Guiyang, Ziping and Xian in the Sui dynasty and covers an area of nearly 200 million miles. The territories of both chambers need to be guarded by Daluo. No matter how good the treasure is, it can't compare to the sex inheritance. After leaving Chongshan residence, I sensed the auras of Sun Shi and Chen Ling, activated Hu Tianxian to perform his magic, and instantly appeared next to them. Master, master, dot. The two of them saluted quickly. But when he saw the bald man standing next to him, he looked confused. Although Chen Xianzang had been born a long time ago, he had been cultivating on the Creation Spirit Island and they had never seen him. This is your sixth master uncle, Taishi Xianyuan true monarch Chen Xianzang. Come and pay homage to him. Disciple pays homage to Uncle Taishi, master's uncle, dot. No need to be polite, just get up. Turned. I'm going out first, and I'll talk about finding someone when I get back. Su Junming knew that he wanted to find some suitable Ruyi bodies for himself. Otherwise, with his current Deluo level magic power, he might scare Wanyan a good away before he even gets close. Choose those who commit the most heinous crimes. I see. The figure slowly disappeared. Master, the sixth uncle's cultivation level is so high. Sun Shi, who also owned the Hunyuan Divine Gate and the Bronze Mirror, could sense the almost boundless magical power in Chen Xuanzang's body, which was like a mountain or a sea. It is definitely a Deluo realm existence. Your sixth master uncle has an extraordinary talent. He has practiced Taoism for many years. Now he is only one step away from becoming a Deluo true immortal. Great immortal Deluo. Sun Shi was shocked. Deluo Zhenxian is the top existence in the earthly immortal world. In the entire earth immortal world, there are already 4 known people who have achieved Deluo true immortal status. Tais Hang Lejun of the Tasita Palace in Liehenshan. Lord of the Great Thunder Sound Temple in the west, Tathagata Buddha. The Master of Wuzhuang Temple in Wanzhou Mountain is Zhenyuan Immortal. The Lord of Lingju Mountain in Hezhu, Xinyu, burns lanterns to the ancient Buddha. There may be some anonymous people who don't like fame and wealth and are dedicated to practicing cultivation, but there are definitely not too many. If Chen Xianzang, the sixth master's uncle, has advanced to the level of Deluo true immortal, then at least in the world of earthly immortals, Chongshan Academy will already be at the top. Uncle of the sixth master is too strong. Chen Ling exclaimed. Practice hard, and one day you will be able to advance to the rank of Deluo true immortal, or even higher. Seeing the expectant look on his master's face, Chen Ling nodded vigorously with a firm expression. Compared to him, Sun Shi's eyes were full of expectations. His cultivation had reached the middle stage of Tai Golden Immortal. With the time power of Hunyuan Divine Sect, he would have the opportunity to touch the Great Luo Wonderland in at most 3 or 4 decades. Having achieved Deluo Celestial Immortal, Deluo True Immortal is just around the corner. After appeasing the master and apprentice, Su Junming looked around. This yard is really nice. Going forward and backward, there is a garden in the middle. In Chang'an City, such a place is not available to ordinary people. It's a coincidence. When the disciple arrived at Yahang, he saw several houses along the way and was not satisfied with them. When he came back, he saw someone posting a list to eliminate evil spirits and promising 100 taels of gold. The disciple had an idea and uncovered the list. When he arrived at his house, he saw that it was not an evildoer, but someone who had beheaded him. The disciple rescued him and did not ask for his gold, but changed to this courtyard. I see. Dong dong. There was a knock on the door. I'll open the door. Chen Ling volunteered and soon walked in with a group of people. Walking in front was a burly young man wearing a purple robe and exuding a military spirit. Master, and Minister Yin are here to visit. Yin Qiao pays homage to his benefactor. The young man who called himself Yin Qiao took 3 steps forward, came to Sun Shi, and bowed deeply, his tone full of gratitude. No need to be polite, please get up quickly. This is my master. I've met the Taoist priest. Yin Qiao quickly paid his respects. Su Junming smiled and nodded. Judging from the luck on the top of his head, which is shaped like a unicorn, it is obvious that he will be a famous minister who will be a general or prime minister in the future. Everyone was seated separately. My benefactor left in such a hurry earlier, and my family was worried about my body, so I didn't have time to say thank you properly. Therefore, today I came here specifically to say thank you. Bring it up. The boy at the back quickly stepped forward, put down the 3 mahogany boxes, and then opened them. A box of gold and silver, a box of jewelry, and a box of precious medicine. It's just a small gift, it's not respectful. I hope my benefactor will accept it. Gold and silver are treasures to ordinary people, but to practitioners, they are like stones on the roadside. They have value when used, but are just like stones when not in use. You don't need to be polite, Mr. Yin. When I rescued you, Lao Sun said that as long as this house and the gold and silver are fine, you can take these things back. Master Sun is unaware that this courtyard is not worth much. In addition, these are the gifts promised by my Yin family for saving my life. Sun Shi was about to speak, but Su Junming's eyes stopped him. Since Mr. Yin is so kind, please keep these things. Thank you, Taoist master. This way, Yin feels much more at ease. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 916. Yin Chiao cupped his hands and glanced over the master and apprentice. Looking at the accent, Masters Yin and disciple are not from Guangzhou. Su Junming smiled calmly. The 3 of us, master and disciple, traveled here and saw the prosperity of Chang'an, where dragons and tigers roost, so we decided to stay there again for a while. So that's it? The virtuous master and disciple are upright and compassionate. They must be disciples of the great sect, Yin Chiao asked tentatively. Shilang Yin seems to have something in his words. Don't be surprised, Taoist priest. Yin is a doctor of Guanglu under the command of the Tang dynasty and a minister of the Ministry of Rites. He shoulders the important task of selecting talents for the country. He is a virtuous master and apprentice who has a high level of cultivation. If he is willing to serve as an official, Yin is willing to recommend him to the king of Tang personally. His Majesty the King of the Tang dynasty treats virtuous corporals and values talents. He will definitely reuse virtuous masters and apprentices, Yin Chiao said solemnly. Su Junming smiled. Thank you for your respect, Mr. Yin. However, my master and apprentice are both outsiders and cannot be bound by the laws of the court, so I'd better forget about being an official. Taoist master, don't refuse in a hurry. If the virtuous masters and disciples do not want to be officials, there are alchemists' mansion under the king of Tang. They are all righteous people like Taoist master who are devoted to pure cultivation and have no intention of becoming officials. If you enter the alchemist's mansion, all the elixirs and spiritual materials needed for practice will be given by the imperial court. Even the heirs of Taoism can be found by the imperial court on their behalf. The cultivation methods and alchemy recipes collected by the imperial court are also available to the alchemist's mansion. In addition to the above, there are all kinds of benefits. With that said, Yin Chiao took out a yellow booklet from his pocket. I have written down everything in the alchemist's mansion in detail. Wise masters and disciples can read it themselves. Su Junming waved his hand, and the book flew into his palm. He flipped through it briefly and put it on the table next to him. There is a saying, no merit will be rewarded. There are so many benefits to the alchemist's mansion, so the price is not small. The real person is too worried. The alchemist mansion only needs to assist the local government and punish the demons and ghosts causing trouble. The rest of the time can be spent by itself. Understood. Su Junming nodded and said, my master and apprentice will consider it for a few days before replying to Minister Yin. Yin Chiao is waiting for the good news of the virtuous master and disciple. The goal was achieved, and after a brief chat, Yin Chiao left. After sending him away, Master, do we really want to join this Lashizi alchemist mansion? Sun Shi asked. Of course not. Just give him a step down. Later, if you ask Chen Ling to send this book back, just say that we, Xianyun Yehi, are used to it and cannot be restrained. Sun Shi nodded. After Yin Jiao left here, he did not go home, but came to a palace outside the central imperial city. A tall and muscular young man, wearing a navy blue robe and a feather crown, handsome in appearance, with a noble and majestic temperament, walked in from the outside in a hurry. "See your highness. Kaishan is coming, sit down quickly." "Thank you, your highness." After the young man sat down, Yin Jiao half sat on the chair. "Are you feeling better?" "Your Majesty, I'm sorry for your concern. It's over now. I heard that it was a monk named Sun who cured your illness." "Exactly. This cultivator's surname is Sun Mingshi, and he is a monkey demon who has become an immortal. Along with him are his master and a disciple named Chen Ling. Now he lives in Xingfang. In the yard." After nodding slightly. "The person who can remove the poison from your body must be a powerful person in the Tai realm." Yin Jiao nodded and said, "I just went to fight for them, but judging from their appearance, I'm afraid they won't join me in the alchemist mansion." Li Shimin sighed. "I, Li Tang, have few people and few lands. We have enemies on all sides. It is difficult to attract more Tai realm powerful men to join our court." "Don't worry, your highness. Li Gui and Xueju are brave and unintelligent people, and they are definitely not our enemies in the Tang dynasty. When we defeat them in the future, we will take Guanzhong, Hexi, Hedong, and Lanzhou. Don't worry about the powerful people. I use it in the Tang dynasty." Li Shimin nodded. "Do you remember who poisoned you?" Yin Jiao shook his head. "The monks have various tricks. Although I am a military general, I am good at fighting, but not good at magic. However, the person who can hide my spiritual sense and poison me must be a powerful person in the Tai realm. He himself is a middle-grade general, and he can fight even Yuan Yang Xianxian. To be able to let him get hit silently is only possible with the power of the Tai realm. It's a pity that the priests in the alchemist mansion are involved in important matters. Otherwise, we could have asked them to take action and find out the mastermind behind this." After a pause, Li Shimin's eyes lit up. "Do you think the master and apprentice pair who saved you will help?" After thinking about the experience of visiting just now, I pondered for a moment. "I've only seen it once, so I can't be sure." Li Shimin thought for a moment. "In this way, I will prepare a few gifts, and you will take me to visit you tomorrow." "My lord, I obey." The night gradually thickened, and the huge Chang'an city was gradually shrouded in darkness. Because there are threats from all sides, a curfew is imposed at night. On the tall drum tower, 80 drums sounded, and the doors of each workshop were closed. Except for the watchmen and patrolling soldiers, the city of Chang'an gradually became quiet. On the edge of the imperial city, there is a huge mansion, covering an area of hundreds of acres. The interior is dense with palaces, pavilions, springs, and waterside pavilions. It has the roughness of the northern landscape and the elegance of the southern gardens. This place was once the residence of Yang Su, a powerful minister during the Kaihuang period. Later, Yang Suangan rebelled and the Yang family was implicated, so this place became empty. After Li Yuan captured Chang'an, he granted this place to his fourth son, General Zhenbei, who was in charge of the military of the 15 counties and marshal of Taiyuan road marching, Qigong Li Yuanji. Next year, when Emperor Yang of the Sui dynasty is beheaded by Yuan Huaji and Li Yuan, who has completely lost his scruples, ascends the throne and proclaims himself emperor, Li Yuanji will be promoted to the title of King of Qi. In the left courtyard of the heavily guarded Qigong's residence, there is a small courtyard shrouded in darkness. A series of footsteps disrupted the silence in the courtyard. Under the protection of the generals wearing helmets and armor, a young man wearing a luxurious azure robe and a golden crown strode forward. This man looked ugly, with a dry and thin face full of pock marks, a flat nose, a protruding mouth, slender eyes, and 2 rat whiskers on his lips. His eyes were sinister, hiding a hint of violence. When I came to the yard and glanced at the dark room, the ugly young man saluted respectfully. Li Yuanji asks to see Mr. Wanyan. There was silence for a while, but Li Yuanji, who had always been unruly, did not dare to stand up. Come in. A hoarse, thick voice came from within the room. At the same time, a light also came on. You guys wait here. Yes. After the soldiers responded solemnly, Li Yuanji straightened his robes, opened the door and walked in. In the empty room, a tall figure wearing a black robe sat cross-legged. In front of his knees, there is an oil lamp. The pale yellow light illuminated the entire body. After turning over and closing the door, Li Yuanji came 3 feet in front of the man in black robe and prostrated himself on the ground. Yuanji pays homage to his mentor. The man in black robe slowly raised his head, revealing a large face with a lion's nose, a wide mouth, and rough features. The blue light flashed in the deep eyes, which was strange and mysterious. Get up. Thank you, mentor. Li Yuanji stood up and sat aside. I've called you here this time to tell you that the golden scorpion poison my master placed on Yin Kaishan has been cured. Impossible, Li Yuanji blurted out. Do you doubt my master's judgment? The voice was cold. Disciple doesn't dare. It's just that Chen Hong, who has the ability to remove the poison from the golden scorpion in the alchemist's mansion, has been transferred to Jinyang by me. Who else but him can remove the poison from my mentor? Li Yuanji said quickly. That's why I came to you. It's not convenient for me to come forward. You can investigate for me tomorrow to find out who unlocked the golden silkworm poison on Yin Kaishan. Yes. Is there any clue about the Yanggong's treasure house? A few days ago, my disciples were browsing ancient Sui classics in Renqiao Palace and discovered that Yang Su was fond of Buddha and had donated money to build Wuluo Temple in Zhaoqiaobang, southeast of Chang'an. It took 8 years to complete, and Emperor Wen of the Sui dynasty Yang Jian even went to worship in person. What's strange is that in the first year of Renqiao, Wuluo Temple was destroyed by a fire, and all the monks died unexpectedly, but none of them escaped. So this disciple feels that there is something very suspicious about Wuluo Temple. The man in black robe pondered for a moment. How is Wuluo Temple doing now? Since it was destroyed by fire, the surrounding residents have often heard the sound of chanting sutras at night. It is widely believed that it is the ghosts of the monks who were burned to death. So it has been deserted until now. The man in black robe nodded. Well done. Thank you, master, for the compliment. He peeked at the master's expression and asked carefully. Master, although Yang Su was a powerful official in the Sui dynasty, his cultivation is far inferior to yours. Even if there is any treasure left behind, is it worth your efforts to find it? As soon as he finished speaking, Li Yuanji felt an extremely sharp look fall on him. The stern coercion made his heart tremble, and he felt as if he had fallen into an ice cellar. Don't ask more questions than you should. The tone was extremely cold. Yes, yes, I will never talk too much in the future. The frozen gaze condensed for a while before slowly dissipating. What you have to do now is to first seek refuge with your eldest brother Li Jiancheng. After moving Li Shimen down, you can then get rid of Li Jiancheng and ascend to the throne. You don't need to worry about other things. Disciple, obey. Let's go back. Yes. He stood up quickly, saluted respectfully, and slowly exited the room. It wasn't until he left the courtyard that Li Yuanji took a deep breath and wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. Only then did he realize that the clothes on his back were completely wet. Staring at the courtyard that was once again plunged into darkness, the fear in my heart gradually disappeared, and the ferocity in his eyes gradually became thicker. When he was young, he was abandoned by his biological mother Do because of his ugly appearance. Fortunately, he survived due to the protection of his mate Chen Shanshan. Even so, he is still the most despised among Li Yuan's disciples. So he practiced martial arts hard, thinking that one day he would be able to stand out and let his father see him. Unfortunately, due to poor qualifications, he has never been able to compare with Li Jiancheng, Li Shimin, and Li Yuanba. It wasn't until one day that the man hiding in the darkness with an extremely powerful aura came to him, took him under his tutelage, and taught him techniques and elixirs. His cultivation level skyrocketed. Nowadays, except for the talented third brother Li Yuanba, who was taken under Quanzhen Taoism, no one among the Li clan's disciples, and even among the generals under Li Tang's command, is his opponent. Even so, when facing his teacher, deep fear still arises from the bottom of my heart. He hated this feeling, but he had to bear it. Compared with the eldest brother Li Jiancheng, who is talented and highly valued by his father, and the second brother Li Shimin, who has outstanding military strategy and great military exploits. If he wants to ascend to the throne one day, he must rely on his master's help. We'll wait until I ascend the throne. Turning his head, he led his soldiers and disappeared into the night of Qi Duke's mansion. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 917. A flash of light flashed. Sun Shi suddenly opened his eyes, and a sharp light emerged from his eyes. When he saw clearly the figure wearing a yellow robe with a bald head, his expression instantly became respectful. Uncle Sixth Master. After nodding slightly, where is your master? Just as he was about to speak, familiar footsteps came from behind. Turning around, it was Su Junming who was walking out of the room with his hands behind his back. Master. Where's Chen Ling? Cultivation in my cave heaven Dharma realm. Su Jun understood and then said, you should go and have a rest. You don't have to wait here for me. Yes. Sun Shi disappeared. Su Junming waved, Chen Xianzang came over, and the two sat down at the stone table next to them. Come back so soon, have you found your wishful body? Certainly. With a wave of his hand, the crowd of figures instantly filled the entire courtyard. Damn lame, you stepped on me. Go away, are you blind? I'm lame, how can I step on you? That damn ghost touched my mother? Go home and touch your mother. The way of a saint starts with, oh, my pants. Amitabha, the female bodhisattva, the poor monk has a treasure. It is extremely hard and strong. Can you imagine it? Seeing the noisy monks, laymen, Taoists, humans, monsters, and ghosts, Su Junming's face was filled with astonishment. Where did you find these crooked melons and cracked dates? And there are so many of them. There are so many people in Chang'an. Isn't it easy to find some monks who are not clean? Although there are more people, if there are not many, how can we help you find people? Su Junming nodded slightly. It's just that this cultivation level is too poor. It's easy. Chen Xuanzang's mana surged, but when he saw the auras of the hundreds of people in the courtyard, they swelled visibly. In just a moment, he had already reached the level of Yuan Yang Golden Immortal. Seeing that their auras were still rising, Su Junming quickly stopped them. Okay, Yuan Yang Golden Immortal is enough, Tai Realm is too eye-catching. Chen Xianzang nodded and restrained his magic power. With his current magic power, which is close to the peak of Deluo Celestial Immortal, he is enough to create nearly 1,000 Tai Golden Immortal. The act just now did not consume much. Looking at the powerful figures in the yard, Su Junming nodded. Chen Xuanzang's wishful body magical power, except for one main deity, can have tens of thousands of wishful bodies in the Deluo realm. These consciousnesses of the wishful body are like multitasking, all of Chen Xianzang himself. The soul and mana of the latter can come and go freely between every wishful body. Unless the main body is destroyed, he cannot be killed. It can be called a life-saving skill. and compared with a simple clone, the wishful body is more real. Unless there is a rare treasure that can peer into the soul, or the cultivation level is too high, it is impossible to tell whether the wishful body is true or false. If there is any shortcoming, it is that it is not strong. The wishful body cannot be cultivated, and it is all supported by the magic power of the deity. Therefore, if you want to use the crowd tactics, it will definitely not work. But life-saving and investigation must come first. Su Junming opened his left palm, and a stack of talismans emerged. With a wave of his hand, the talismans spread out, leaving one for each person, no more, no less. This is the tracking talisman I refined. You can take it while walking around Chang'an City. Once you encounter it and it lights up, it means the person we are looking for is nearby. How close? It won't be more than 10 miles. Chen Xianzang nodded. From such a close distance, with the power of the bronze mirror's projection, he could quickly defeat Wanyanago. Let's all go. With a wave of his sleeves, the Ruyi body all over the yard disappeared in an instant. Su Junming's ears suddenly became clear. Chen Xianzang took out a pot of wine, 2 chickens, and several side dishes from the green gourd he carried with him, and filled the stone table. Judging from the quality, it is obviously not an ordinary product. Where did it come from? When I came back, I passed by Prince Tang's mansion and got some. It tasted pretty good. Gilo, 2 glasses of wine arrived. What should I do in the future, hide in secret, or continue to open a new main campus of Chongshan Academy? As the territory managed by Chongshan Academy grows larger and larger, the former 4-level management system is no longer sufficient. Just 100 years ago, Su Junming and others discussed and added a first-level high court to it. The lower court, the middle court, the upper court, the high court and the general court. The county has a lower court, which focuses on cultivating foundation and talent. The government has a middle courtyard, which is mainly used to cultivate Jindan, Yuanying, and Yuanshen. The county established an upper court, which mainly trained Yuanshen monks. The state has established a high court, which mainly trains Yuanyang realm monks. The world is the main academy, which trains Tai realm monks and imparts simple Deluo realm knowledge. Today, there are 4 general academies under Chongshan Academy, namely Chongshan World General Academy, Tianwai Shenshan General Academy, Southern General Academy, and Northern General Academy located in the Sui and Tang dynasties. As the Lord of Chongshan World, Ao Tian is in charge of the Chongshan World General Academy, the Dragon Emperor is in charge of the Sui and Tang Dynasty General Academy, and Tai Zhenjun is in charge of the Southern General Academy. As for the Tianwai Sacred Mountain, it is now only nearly 10 million miles in size. In the earthly immortal world and the Chongshan world, it is equivalent to a state. If we weren't proud of our Chongshan residence, where the aura is richer than that of the earthly immortal realm, and there are so many talented people, we wouldn't be listed as one of the 4 major academies. Of course, Su Junming himself guards the Tianwai Shenshan General Hospital. Now that Chen Xianzang has advanced to Deluo, Chongshan Academy also has the capital to open another main academy. The General Academy of Sui and Tang dynasties has not yet completely mastered it. Blind development will only cause internal instability. Moreover, our rapid expansion over the years will inevitably provoke a few enemies. If they join forces, their strength will not be weak. With you here, I can give them a surprise and lay a foundation for the rise of Chongshan world. A Deluo monk can save thousands of years of strategic planning and transformation in the world of Chongshan. Chen Xianzang pulled off a chicken leg, took a bite and chewed it in his mouth. Li Yuan really knows how to enjoy it. There is quite a lot of spiritual energy in this meat. It tastes even better after being cooked by the royal chef. It's normal to have great power and good food and clothing. Su Junming pulled off the other chicken leg. After eating, he threw the chicken bones away and shook his hands. The chicken fat on his hands was instantly clean. Since I don't need to open a new main hospital, can I travel around the world? I also want to recruit a disciple. You can't all claim to be your ancestors. I don't even have anyone to serve tea or water here. Su Junming nodded. Let's wait until we catch Wanyanago and beat him before leaving. This guy probably has a valuable treasure in his hand. If we fight, I'm sure I can beat him, but it'll probably take some trouble. You're here to make sure everything is safe. Wanyanaguda has too many secrets in his body, we must not let him escape. Chen Xianzang nodded. As long as this guy doesn't pretend to be a pig and eat the tiger, he won't be able to escape. Before he finished speaking, he suddenly stopped. Found it? Su Junming understood instantly. Walk. The two figures disappeared instantly, and when they reappeared, they were already above a ruins. Nearly 1,000 acres are covered with weeds, collapsed pagodas, and broken bell towers. It can be seen that this place was once a Buddhist temple. The black ash on the surrounding walls and the half-broken beams and columns indicate that this place has experienced a fire. A ray of light flew over. An old man wearing a ge robe with white beard and hair appeared in front of the two of them. In his hand, there is a talisman emitting lavender light. It is indeed here. The two looked at each other, and at the same time activated the bronze mirror to look around. The abandoned Buddhist temple was the top priority. Facts have proved that Su Junming's talisman indeed has miraculous effects. Deep underground in this abandoned Buddhist temple, a tall man wearing black robes, with a strong build and a lion's nose and a wide mouth came into view. His body is exactly a green wooden unicorn. At that time, the royal family of the Jin kingdom in Qi County was none other than Mu Kailin. He was right. Su Junming nodded. The two did not catch up immediately. Because there are powerful restrictions underground in this Buddhist temple. I didn't expect there to be such a place under Chang'an City, Chen Xianzang said. What I'm more curious about is, who set up such a restriction? Judging from its strength, even a monk at the peak of Tai will have difficulty breaking it if he doesn't understand the formation and doesn't have a heavy treasure. As soon as they finished speaking, their expressions changed slightly. Wanyanaguda actually disappeared in front of them. Su Junming activated the Hunyuan Divine Gate, and a dark space passage appeared in mid-air, and the two of them flew in at the same time. When he appeared again the next moment, it was already an empty underground space. Huge blue stones are spread on the ground. There are 4 huge totem poles placed around it according to the 4 elephant directions. Each totem pole is 1 foot in diameter and 9 feet high, with reliefs in the shapes of green dragon, white tiger, red bird, and black basalt. And between these 4 stone pillars, in the center of the square, lies a 9-foot-long unicorn sculpture. The person who carved this unicorn has exquisite skills. The scales are like, the head and horns are sharp, the eyes are half open and half closed, as if he is lying on the ground and taking a nap. If it weren't for the slightest bit of heat, it would be almost as if it were alive. There is a cross-border teleportation array hidden inside this unicorn sculpture. Su Junming affirmed. Although there were layers of restrictive cover, Su Junming, who was proficient in formation and space methods, quickly discovered the truth and falsehood with the help of bronze mirrors. Can you open it? Of course. I just don't know what's behind this cross-border teleportation array. Haha, this is not easy. Pointing at the Hunyuan Divine Gate, the old man from before walked in from the space passage. Su Junming understood what he meant and accurately found the cross-border teleportation array hidden inside Kailin. Soon, a black passage appeared in front of him. The old man flew into it. Su Junming also separated a Ruyi body and followed him. As the deity himself, he can also use Chen Xuanzang's great spiritual power. Just like he can use Renwuji's soul-binding rope and Dragon Emperor's soul-falling bell. It can be seen that the person who arranged this cross-border teleportation array does not know much about the battle path and the space path, and the transmission channel is not stable. there was a flash of light in front of his eyes, and through the perspective of the clone, a world rich in spiritual energy appeared in front of him. This is a world made entirely of water. Wherever Su Junming could see, there were rolling blue waves, stretching as far as the eye could see. The surrounding water element aura is abundant, almost as much as the ocean in the earthly immortal realm. Looking up, an orange-red fireball hung high in the blue sky, spreading thick light and heat. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 918. Su Junming looked up. It's not a complete world. Having once created the Chongshan world with his own hands, he could clearly feel that the 5 elements here were out of tune, the yin and yang were unstable, and there were no 4 seasons, no ice, snow, and rain. Chen Xianzang, who turned into an old man next to him, nodded. However, the spiritual energy in this cave is extremely rich. The treasures used to suppress the cave must be extraordinary. Roar. Explosive roars rolled in like a storm. The violent sound waves spurred huge waves, which surged like a wall. This majestic and angry roar interrupted Su Junming's next words. The two looked at each other and flew in the direction of the sound. At the same time, a thick space barrier protected the two of them in the middle. Of course, this space barrier is also the best way to hide traces. After traveling tens of thousands of miles, a shocking scene appeared in front of us. In the endless waves, a blue unicorn that looked like a mountain was fighting crazily with an aqua 7-clawed dragon. The rolling waves turned into giant pillars thousands of feet high, swaying and flying towards the opponent with a thunderous sound. The gloomy green trees shed thousands of hectares of blue light, like a vast blue ocean, connecting the sky and the earth, like a giant mountain toppling down, falling down with the violence of destruction. The thunderous noise was earth-shattering. Suddenly, after a shocking loud noise, the unicorn and the dragon quickly retreated. The unicorn's light flashed and turned into a green-faced man nearly 10 feet tall, wearing a black robe, a golden crown on his head, and a lion's nose. A powerful and domineering pressure radiated from his body. The 7-clawed dragon opposite turned into a noble middle-aged man wearing a blue cloak and a jade crown in the endless water light. Haha, Yang Su, you didn't expect that I was still alive, did you? Should I call you Wanyanaguda, or Chen, B.A., first? As soon as these words came out, Su Junming and Chen Xianzang looked at each other and saw the surprise on each other's faces. Anyone familiar with the history of the southern and northern dynasties is familiar with it. Chen Baxian was the founding emperor of the Chen dynasty. And Yang Su was one of the coaches who defeated Chen in the Sui dynasty. Although there was little intersection between the two in the history of Su Junming's previous life, it was different in the earthly immortal world, a world of cultivation where gods and demons reigned supreme. That stupid Chen Baxian who regarded you as a brother died 5,000 years ago. Of course I am Wanyanaguda now. My good senior brother, even if you change your name, it won't change the fact that you are stupid. Chen Baxian, no, he should be called Wanyanaguda, was furious, and the powerful greenwood spiritual energy rose into the sky, covering a radius of thousands of miles in a green light. Taking a deep breath, Wanyanaguda suppressed the anger in his heart. I don't want to waste time talking to you about handing over the Yinya River picture left by Master. Yang Su smiled lightly. It seems that senior brother is also thinking about Kongsang Mountain. Isn't it because you faked your death and hid here, practiced the Sky Demon True Body technique, and turned into this water snake for the sake of Kongsang Mountain? Wanyanaguda said coldly. Master once said that if you want to find Kongsang Mountain, you must combine the Yanjiao Luoshu and the Yunyao River map to form the Wuji Bagua. If you want to enter Kongsang Mountain, you must have a demon body, otherwise you will be a Delugo celestial immortal, will also be bombarded by Kongsang Mountain. Now you have Luoshu, and I have Hichu. You are the body of a unicorn, and I am the body of a true dragon. When it comes to cultivation, we are both Tei golden immortal perfection. When it comes to Taoism and Dharma, you and I come from the same sect and know our roots. Since we are all for the treasures in Kongsang Mountain, how about joining forces? Wanyanaguda snorted coldly. Do you think I will still believe you? Yang Su opened his right hand, and a scroll with shining golden light, strong aura, and exuding the aura of laws and regulations appeared in the palm of his hand. The law of heaven. That's right. As long as you and I sign the law of heaven, we no longer have to worry about stabbing each other in the back. Wanyanaguda's eyes flickered. Yang Su is very powerful, and it is not easy to defeat him completely. Moreover, the two of them came from the same school, so they knew each other's methods very well, and the other also had an advantageous location. You don't have the character to give in, Wanyanaguda said in a deep voice. Yang Su smiled lightly. Like my senior brother, I have been looking for the whereabouts of Kongsang Mountain over the years. Unfortunately, there have been no clues. I am tired of waiting any longer. There was a pause. Besides, the secret here has been exposed, there is no need to stay. How about it? Senior brother, will you sign this law of heaven? Wanyanaguda nodded. Sign. Like Yang Su, he didn't want to wait any longer. With a happy look on his face, Yang Su shook his hand, unfolded the law of heaven in his palm, and used his hand as a pen to make an agreement that both parties would explore Kongmulg Mountain together, not to attack each other, and to harvest treasures according to their own abilities. In the end, the two of them signed a lot with their essence and blood, and the law of heaven turned into a bright golden light and disappeared into the sky. Feeling the powerful power of cause and effect falling into his body, Wanyanaguda breathed a sigh of relief. However, even with the laws of heaven, he still felt uneasy about this junior brother who almost beat him to death. But under the fatal temptation of Kongsang Mountain, I had to let go of my prejudices. Not long after he became a disciple, he once went to Kongsang Mountain under the guidance of his master. That was a place with a spiritual energy that was 100 times richer than the current earthly immortal world. If it weren't for the overwhelming aura of death and the many restrictions, it would be a perfect holy land for cultivation. Unfortunately, if you want to find and open Kongsang Mountain, you must combine the Yunyeo Luoshu and the Yanjeo River map. Haha, senior brother is still as wise as ever. With a cold snort, Wanyanaguda remained silent. Yang Su turned his head. You two have been watching for so long, aren't you ready to come out? It seems that we have been discovered, Chen Xianzang said. Su Junming nodded and said, this cave has been refined by him. Anyone who enters this place cannot hide it from him. Of course, if he is willing to activate the magical power of Time Dao, he can still hide it. After all, this is just a cave, not a world. But activating the way of time consumes too much mana. With Chen Xianzang, a big man, by his side, there was no need to expend so much energy when everything was safe. With a wave of his hand, the outer space barrier disappeared instantly. Seeing the two of them, Wanyanaguda's expression suddenly changed. After looking at Chen Xianzang cautiously, his eyes were fixed on Su Junming. You two are really brave, how dare you come here? Yang Su has been here for more than 1,000 years. He has no ears to hear what is going on outside the window. He obviously does not know the changes in the outside world. This place is not a dragon's den or a tiger's den, so why shouldn't you dare to come? Besides, I'm very interested in the Kongsang Mountain you two talked about, so why don't you take me to see it too? I am proficient in formations and can definitely help you. Yang Su's expression turned cold. Kongsang Mountain is his forbidden land, how can he allow outsiders to make plans? Brother, how about we join forces? Kill this person first, and then empty Sang Mountain. No, let's go quickly. Wanyan Aguda transmitted the message. The cautious tone made Yang Su's heart move. His senior brother was not a timid person. Senior brother, don't worry, my Biming cave is as wide as hundreds of millions of miles in the sky. With your and my cultivation, even if the great Logo celestial immortal comes here, I won't be afraid of him. You know what, let's run away or it'll be too late. If it weren't for Kongsang Mountain, he wouldn't bother to remind Yang Su. Wanyan Aguda silently mobilized his magic power and activated the exotic treasure, ready to run away at any time. At the beginning, Tuobo Peak itself was a Delogo celestial immortal, and he had the support of the Taiyan ghost realm of 300 million miles, as well as countless ghost armies. He was killed by Chongshan Academy in less than half a day. Yang Su, the polished Tai golden immortal, coupled with a larger cave world, is it like blocking? Wanyan Aguda would definitely not believe it. To be able to make my senior brother, who has always been arrogant, run away when he meets him, he is definitely in the Delugo realm, or even stronger. But a Tai golden immortal and a Yuan Yang golden immortal don't look like big shots. Yang Su planned to test it out. He raised his right hand, and the extremely abundant water spirit energy in the cave sky suddenly became powerful. The light blue water flow merged into a majestic water column thousands of feet high, rushing straight towards Su Junming and the two of them. Seeing the powerful water flowing from all directions, Su Junming said calmly, "You don't need to take action first, otherwise you will scare them away and it will be difficult to catch them. The third and fifth children haven't arrived yet. This cave is in the void outside the four major continents of the earthly immortal realm. Although it has an accurate location, it will always take some time to get there." After saying that, Su Junming stretched out his hand and pointed, and a huge stone gate with a height of 3,000 feet appeared in mid-air. The divine inscriptions on the left side of the stone gate flickered, accompanied by black brilliance, emerging from the stone gate. The water flowing from all directions was swallowed up instantly. The Hunyuan divine gate shrouded in black brilliance seemed to have turned into a bottomless pit. "No matter how you flow, I will stand still." Yang Su saw it and was secretly shocked. What a powerful Deluo Lingbao. Senior brother, the reason why you are afraid of him is because of the Deluo Lingbao in this man's hand. I glanced at him and hesitated for a moment. This person's name is Su Junming, his Taoist name is Taoist Chongshan True Monarch, he is the head of Chongshan Academy, the top sect in the earthly immortal world. Yang Su was stunned. The one that can be called the top sect has at least a Luo monk in charge. Generally speaking, such a sect has been passed down for hundreds of thousands of years, so it is impossible that he has not heard of it. Wanyan Aguda could guess his thoughts without looking. Chongshan Academy only appeared in Nanzan Buzhu for 1,300 years. It's normal that you haven't heard of it. There has been a Deluo in charge for 1,300 years. There are at least two great Luo in the Chongshan sect, or even more. Hiss. Yang Su took a breath of cold air. No wonder my senior brother, who is not afraid of anything, would take the initiative to retreat. After looking at him, Wanyan Aguda said coldly. 5 years ago, they just destroyed Taiyan Ghost Sect and Tuobo Peak. You can imagine whether you can stop them. Yang Su's face suddenly changed. Real. If it weren't for the Yinyao River map in your hand, which fell into Kongshan's hands and I had no hope of getting it again, I wouldn't bother to care about your life or death. Thanks to book friend Oranjo for 1,500 starting coins. Book friend /U0026 amp, /U0026 amp, wandering /U0026 amp, /U0026 amp, 500 starting coin reward, thank you very much. Become a disciple of Taoist priest for us. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 919. Yang Su looked uncertainly at the magnificent divine gate in front of him and the figure standing at the top of the divine gate with his clothes flying. Although he didn't know about Chongshan Academy, he knew about the Taoist ghost sect that dominated Jingxiang. Even in the heyday of the Sui dynasty, it had to be dealt with carefully. Why haven't I heard of such a powerful sect? Chongshan Academy comes from other worlds. When the strange energy in your body disappears, you completely integrate into the earthly immortal world, and you recover your cultivation level before you are reborn. At this time, you have already become a tortoise here. Of course you have never heard of it? Yang Su glanced at him coldly before turning his head. As the 12 upper realms among the many worlds in the prehistoric world, the earthly immortal realm is very popular among the monks who have just achieved Delugo in the ordinary worlds. For monks who have just become Delugo, although they can go to the prehistoric world, there are too many powerful people in the prehistoric world, including many powerful ones at the Hunyuan level. Once there, they will once again behave with their tail between their legs. If you are not careful, you may even end up in a state of despair. In contrast, the earthly immortal realm can accommodate the perfect monks of Delugo true immortal. The power level will not exceed them too much, and safety is guaranteed. Although the speed of cultivation may not be comparable to that of the prehistoric world. But it's nothing more than staying up longer, which is much better than losing your life. Therefore, every once in a while, Delugo celestial immortals will appear out of nowhere in the earthly immortal realm. This is the case for the Lijiang sword sect located in the middle of Shu today. They all come from outside. Even though there are 2 great Lugo in Chongshan Academy, the person who came this time is just a Tai Golden Immortal, a junior from the Yuan Yang realm. You and I can join forces to kill them. With the shelter of my cave sky, we can wait for the 2 great Lugo got the news and came over. We have already left, why should we be afraid of them, Yang Su said. Wanyanagu came to his senses. The sudden appearance of Su Junming he saw earlier reminded him of the recent incident that caused a sensation in the spiritual world, the destruction of the Taoist ghost sect. In a panic, the first thing that came to my mind was to run. The 2 Delugo monks were under too much pressure. Now that I have stabilized my mind, I feel that Yang Su's suggestion is good. Although Su Junming had a draw with Delugo monks in the past, it was based on occupying a favorable location and having the help of a large formation. Now they are the ones who occupy the advantageous location. This cave world, which is hundreds of millions of miles away, provides a realm power that is comparable to Delugo. If you want to fight, use all your strength. Never give the opponent time to breathe and end the fight as soon as possible. It's natural. After Yang Su responded, his whole body's magic power steamed up. At the same time, the sea water below suddenly swelled. Senior brother, I wonder which sword you have mastered in the 3-yin swordsman sword. You'll see it soon. Haha, let's go together. 2 magnificent sword energies soared into the sky. One green, one blue. A stream of wood energy is condensed, and a stream of water energy is gathered together. The 10,000 Zhang magic sword is awe-inspiring and mighty, revealing the power of cutting the sky and splitting the earth. Su Junming saw it with fighting intent in his eyes. I'm not afraid of sword fighting. As soon as his heart moved, energy, blood, and mana all over his body rolled out. A streak of bloody sword light shot up, becoming powerful in an instant. The powerful sword light tore the sky apart. The torrent of blood dyed the blue sky red. The powerful aura made both Yang Su and Wanyanaguda change their expressions. Dual cultivation of martial arts. What a strong sword spirit. The 2 looked at each other and could see the solemn look on each other's faces. Don't hold back. Wanyanaguda nodded. Disease. At the same time, he shouted loudly, and the magnificent green and blue sword light slashed towards Su Junming overwhelmingly. The powerful sword energy exploded like a mountain torrent, tearing apart the void in an instant, reaching the extreme speed. Duh! Su Junming pointed his halberd forward, and the powerful sword light behind him was like a volcano erupting. Surging, roaring and rushing forward. The three sword lights looked like three enraged dragons. They collided together like lightning. In an instant, red, green, and blue lights illuminated the world. Visible to the naked eye, a pale white powerful shock wave quickly impacted the surroundings. The thunderous explosion shook the entire cave. Su Junming is a dual practitioner of martial arts. Although he has not reached the peak of Tai realm, at the same level, unless he has a powerful rare treasure like the broken bronze sword, he is almost invincible. Pan Tuo Divine Sword. After one strike, the bloody sword energy behind Su Junming exploded again. The surging sword light struck directly at Yang Su and Wanya Naguda. He hasn't done anything for a long time. It's rare that he meets such a good opponent, and he wants to fight. It can also delay time. Seeing the mighty sword energy, which was even stronger than before, Yang Su and Wanya Naguda looked solemn. Senior brother, this person's strength is extraordinary. Stop hiding your clumsiness. Wanya Naguda nodded cautiously. With a sway, he transformed into the body of a 10,000-foot-long unicorn. Yang Su also transformed into the previous 7-clawed true dragon body again. Ouch! Roar! Accompanied by the earth-shattering roar, billowing wood energy and green water light flowed directly from the sky to the earth, heading straight towards Pan Tuo's sword energy. There was a bang from all three sides, and a thunderous sound resounded throughout the world. The powerful counter-shock force made Su Junming's body tremble. However, this not only did not scare him, but made him even more excited. As soon as he took a step, his tall and straight body was able to face the wind. In just a moment, it had already transformed into 1,000 feet. The Taoist robe that he was originally wearing instantly turned into a pale armor. Facing the crushing giant trees and floods, Su Junming simply lunged and punched. Exploded with violent force. With a bang, the space shook, and the air within tens of thousands of feet was completely exploded. In an instant, a huge white wave surged forward, colliding with the giant tree and the flood like lightning. Boom! It was deafening, like thunder. Su Junming didn't wait for the aftermath to calm down, and used his strong body to directly hit him. Such a tyrannical style of play was beyond Wanya Naguda and Yang Su's expectations. Subconsciously, he opened his huge mouth and sprayed out billowing wood air and water waves again. Su Junming activated his Space Dao magical power and opened up a parallel space in an instant. Powerful wood energy and water waves passed through his body, as if nothingness existed. Just when Wanya Naguda and Yang Su were shocked, Su Junming took a big step and came to the two of them. The big mountain-like hand opened up and grabbed Yang Su. Not good. The 7 claws of the rising dragon. The dragon clan was able to dominate the ancient times, so their strength was naturally extraordinary. In particular, Yang Su is a rare 7-clawed true dragon among the dragon clan. The bloodline level is several times stronger than the current 4 dragon kings in the earthly immortal world. Second only to the dozen or so dragon kings from the legendary dragon clan's ancient times. However, it is said that there is a stronger dragon bloodline above the 9-clawed divine dragon, but it has already surpassed Su Junming's level by far. Just a 7-clawed true dragon, he is already a Tai Chi innate god, and his qualifications are no worse than the Lingming stone monkey. I don't know where Yang Su got this dragon body. 7 huge dragon claws grabbed Su Junming's chest and back. Chiang, Chilla. Sparks flew everywhere, and no matter how sharp the dragon's claws were, they could not break through Su Junming's armor. This is also normal. After he was able to refine the great Luo Lingbao, the first thing he did was to upgrade his own treasure. The robe on your body is of course the most important thing. What? Yang Su was shocked in his heart. His Shenlong 7 claws combat skill, combined with the hard dragon claws, was in every possible way. This time it was a miscalculation. Without the sharpness, the powerful power in the dragon's claws is no different from scratching an itch for Su Junming, who practices martial arts. With a big hand, he directly grabbed Yang Su's dragon body. In an instant, the latter felt a violent force pouring into his body. The giant dragon's body instantly lost its balance and was smashed into the sea water. With a boom, the sea water within thousands of miles seemed to be filled with countless cannonballs and exploded instantly. The swaying water waves reach to the sky and the earth, and the momentum is amazing. Yang Su was knocked dizzy. Before he could recover, a big foot covered the sky and heavily trampled its head down. Huge waves rolled and shook the earth. Everything that happened like lightning made it difficult for people to recover. Wanyan Aguda already paid enough attention to Su Junming's strength, but he still didn't expect that he could beat Yang Su to the ground after just a few encounters. This kind of strength has completely exceeded the Tai realm. I can't hold back anymore. Although he had been saying that he would try his best just now, he and Yang Su had a murderous feud. How could he not take precautions? But now Su Junming is too strong. If he is allowed to kill Yang Su and seize the Yinyao River map, then Kong Sangshan will really be insulated from him. The mind is set, and the magic power is activated. A thick and simple tortoise shell, shining with lavender light, slowly flew out from the giant mouth of the unicorn. Yangyao sunflower water. The tortoise shell's brilliance shone brightly, and in an instant the water aura in the entire cave began to vibrate. The huge movement made Su Junming turn his head subconsciously. His eyes were attracted to the tortoise shell. Delugo middle grade spiritual treasure. This was not an existence he could handle right now. It's your turn to take action. Chen Xianzang, who had been holding the battle next to him, smiled. I thought you were going to just take them both down. Cut the nonsense. The Hunyuan divine gate behind Su Junming instantly turned into a bronze bell. Boom. The mighty soul-destroying bells dispersed instantly. Yang Su, who had just woken up, was burning with anger, and was about to activate the power of the realm to fight Su Junming desperately, only to feel his soul shaking. He, who was not very compatible with the dragon body, instantly lost control of the magic power in his body. Su Junming also has the heavenly demon transformation technique. Although the human soul controls the demon body, although it has gained the powerful strength of the demon, there are always flaws between the soul and the body. That's all if you encounter people who are not proficient in Shenhun Taoism. If you encounter someone like him who masters the way of the soul and understands the existence of the Great Luo realm, and cooperates with the Great Luo spiritual treasure of the Hunyuan divine sect, he will be crushed in minutes without any precautions. Yang Su was also unlucky. In comparison, Wanyan Aguda was much luckier. With the protection of Yanjiao Luoshu, the sound of the soul-falling bell could not do anything to get him. However, the current Wanyan Aguda does not feel that he is lucky. He feels the overwhelming aura of the old man who was originally only in the Yuan Yang Golden Immortal Realm, and his face is full of disbelief. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 920. Chen Xianzang quickly transferred his magic power into this Ruyi body. Therefore, when Wanyan Aguda saw his strength, all the way from Yuan Yang to Tai realm, and then from Tai realm to Delugo, he was shocked to the extreme. Then without saying anything, he turned around and ran away. This guy was quick to do it, but it's a pity it's too late. He didn't use the Lingbao, so he slapped his right palm from afar. In an instant, the powerful karma turned into a bloody rainbow light, like a rainbow in the sky, and lightning struck. The monks at the peak of Delugo Celestial Immortal have great power to crack mountains and split the earth with every movement of their hands. Not to mention cause and effect karma. The danger signal from the morning platform skyrocketed, making Wanyan's hair stand on end. Not daring to hesitate, the mana in his body was inputted into the Yanjiao Luoshu like crazy. Yelled loudly. Yangyao Zhenlei. Boom, the mighty thunder appeared in the mid-air overwhelmingly. The powerful lavender cave thunder, like an ocean, blocks the path of cause and effect. There was no earth-shattering bang, but looking at the karma, the soundless nirvana thunder had a frightening tyranny. Seeing this, Wanyanaguda was so shocked that he couldn't hide it anymore and quickly took out a black talisman from his magic bag. As soon as the mana was activated, a black space channel appeared. He took a step forward and flew in quickly. Seeing his figure disappear, Chen Xianzang did not chase him. A large black hole suddenly appeared in the void where this cave was located. Wanyanaguda jumped out of it in a panic. Before he could breathe a sigh of relief, a five-color brilliance, like a rainbow in the sky, flew over like lightning. The great five elements divine light. The five virtues true monarch of the Chongshan sect. As the Dragon Emperor preached to the world, his Taoism became widely known. The great five elements divine light, which resembles the Buddhist Peacock King Bodhisattva's five-color divine light, became even more widely known. He hurriedly urged the tortoise shell. Yanjiao Sunfen. In an instant, a roaring hurricane rose into the sky. Hundreds of thousands of feet of wind pillars seemed to tear the heaven and earth into pieces. But what he faced was the great five elements divine light, which was more powerful than the Yanjiao Luoshu in his hand. The powerful wind was absorbed by the five elements divine light in an instant. But in the end it was delayed for a moment. In just such an instant, Wanyanaguda had already activated his escape light and escaped hundreds of miles away, barely escaping the power of the great five elements divine light. Before he could feel happy, a huge black hole in front of me emerged from nothing and became tens of thousands of feet in the blink of an eye. The rolling swallowing force flew towards him, as if countless arms grabbed him and pulled him towards the black hole. Wanyanaguda, who was originally flying forward, had no time to change direction. Coupled with the suction of the black hole, he fell into it instantly. With the souls of the dead in great danger, he activated his magic power crazily. Yanjiao Lewo. The overwhelming flames rushed straight into the black hole. Unfortunately, the power of the black hole was too strong, and Li Huo didn't bring much reaction force to him, but it did slow down his falling speed a lot. Hey, you still want to run away? Just go in. Accompanied by the joking voice, a golden ship tens of thousands of feet in size, like an ancient giant mountain, rammed into it arrogantly. The tyrannical power and domineering momentum are frightening. Behind this giant ship, red, green, black, yellow, and white, five colors of brilliance flashed. Although it was not brushed down, it sealed the space for him to escape. Wanyanaguda, who had already consumed a lot of mana by activating Yanjiao Luoshu several times, gritted his teeth. You can keep the green hills without worrying about having no firewood. The soul broke free and flew out of Kailan's body. The Yuan Shen, which is 3 feet in size and is completely condensed from the energy of green wood, is in the form of a human, holding a simple jade talisman in its arms. Looking at the tortoise shell that was resisting the swallowing power of the black hole, he gritted his teeth and activated the jade talisman. A powerful spiritual light swept up the soul and disappeared instantly. The speed was extremely fast. The Dragon Emperor's speed could not be dissatisfied. With the help of the Hunyuan divine sect, he moved in the void and caught up in an instant. But after catching up, before he could capture him, the opponent disappeared instantly. This happened many times in a row. When he arrived further ahead and had time to take action, the ancient jade talisman turned in a circle and flew to the right. After a few times, the trace was completely lost. Here, without the Yuan Shen presiding over, the black hole instantly swallowed the tortoise shell and the unicorn body. Then it quickly shrank and turned into a black jar of the same size, falling into the hands of true Lord Tai. What kind of treasure is that jade talisman? It's so fast. The Dragon Emperor who rushed back shook his head. I don't know either. There are so many treasures in this world that we don't know about. Soon, Su Junming and Chen Xianzang chased them out. Caught. Let him run away, but capture his body and this. Yanjiao Luoshu flew out of the sky swallowing jar. Su Junming reached out and made a move, falling into his hand. After sensing it for a moment, he nodded. Deluo's middle-grade spiritual treasure is absolutely unmistakable. You two Deluo monks intercepted you, why did you let people run away? Chen Xianzang said. That guy had an ancient jade talisman in his hand. When activated, it moved as fast as the void. I chased after him, but before I could take action, he was already far away. I chased him further ahead to give him room to take action, but he turned backwards several times and completely lost track of me. The Dragon Emperor reached out and pointed, and a water mirror appeared in the void, with the scene he intercepted appearing in it. Su Junming saw this and frowned. This is the first time someone has escaped from their hands since mastering space movement. The ancient jade talisman was shrouded in a milky white brilliance. He couldn't see clearly the writing on it, let alone understand it. If he only looked at the image, he didn't know what kind of avenue it contained. The left palm spreads out, and the divine ball of heaven emerges. A situation like a galaxy in the universe appeared again. But after a moment of calculation, I still found nothing. It was obvious that Wanyan Aguda was still moving quickly. He put away the secret divine ball and shook his head. Ignore him. Only Yuan Shen is left, and he can't make many waves. Besides, we have already obtained everything we are looking for. That's right, it's Kongsang Mountain that matters, Tai Zhenjun said quickly. Look at how obsessed you are with money. Chen Laoliu, if you have the ability, don't ask for the treasure in Kongsang Mountain. You are so beautiful. Su Junming was too lazy to pay attention to them. He stretched out his hand and the Hunyuan divine gate shone brightly, like a huge beast, opening its mouth to swallow the cave world that Yang Su had worked so hard to refine. Ao Laosi made a lot of money again this time, Tai Zhenjun said. Although Yang Su's cave only has the 5 elements and no yin and yang wheel, it still has hundreds of millions of miles. If it were the world, it would be enough to overcome the calamity and achieve the great thousand standards. If used to worship the Chongshan world, it would be enough to create 10 top-notch small thousand worlds. Although Su Junming is still far away from his big goal of gathering 3,000 top small thousand worlds and allowing the Chongshan world to survive the disaster. But at least it's a big step. What should I do with the bodies of these two guys? Chen Xianzang asked. There is no need to keep it in our hands. Let's give it to Ao Tian. If we use it to practice the world, we can create 2 more small thousand worlds. After saying that, Su Junming took out the Yanjiao Luoshu and Yunyao River pictures. All 4 people's eyes were focused. Hichu Luoshu is extremely famous as an innate spiritual treasure possessed by the demon Emperor Jun in ancient times. Later, Fuxi received its help and became the supreme emperor. He explained the 8 diagrams countless times and also let the wise men of the human race understand the Hichu Luoshu. Therefore, countless imitations have appeared in the spiritual world. What Su Junming got last time in Chixian Shenzhou was one of them. But this time the Hichu Luoshu is obviously different. It contains more restrictions and is closer to the original version. When the treasures that were originally a set came close to each other, their auras suddenly surged. The tyrannical treasure rushed straight into the sky. Fortunately, this is the void outside the 4 major continents of the earthly immortal realm, otherwise we don't know how much disputes it would cause. Feeling Hichu Luoshu's more powerful spiritual pressure, Tai Zhenjun's eyes instantly lit up. This treasure is good. I can use it to suppress my Tai golden ship. You are so beautiful. This is the 6th-path spiritual taboo, the top-notch Deluo middle-grade spirit treasure. Wouldn't it be a waste to suppress the golden ship for you? Besides, you already have 2 Deluo spirit treasures, Tai golden ship and netherworld umbrella. I only have a Tianxin mirror. Give it to me if you want. Chen Xianzang refused to give in. Hey, Lao Lu. Let's discuss it. I'll give you the netherworld umbrella, and give me the Hichu Luoshu. No. Just as the two were bickering, Hichuluashu instantly transformed into a huge Bagua array. Yin and Yang inside, Bagua outside. The sky and the earth shook, and the waves started to spin rapidly. Countless divine inscriptions were created and destroyed with each passing day. Su Junming's hands changed like the wind, and one handprint after another flew toward the formation. Gradually, the Bagua array rotates faster and faster. Hold it in your hand and drink it in your mouth. Open. Powerful spiritual light soared into the sky from the Bagua array. Gradually, a black hole, accompanied by spiritual light, emerged from the void. Kongsang Mountain. Tai Zhenjun looked excited and was about to rush in when he was stopped by Su Junming. Don't worry, use your clone to explore first. The Dragon Emperor gave True Lord Tai a cold look. Deluo Tianxian will die if he is not careful. Hey, Long Lao San, you are cursing me. The Dragon Emperor ignored him, and an illusory figure flew out of his body, followed by Su Junming's clone and Chen Xuanzang's wishful body, and flew in at the same time. Tai Zhenjun, who had long coveted Kongsenshan for a long time, didn't care to say more and quickly created a clone and followed him in. After passing through the space channel, when he reappeared, a shocking picture appeared in front of him. Under the dim sky is a white ocean. The sea water is not water, but pieces of white bones. There are endless piles of bones, and there is nothing else except a few protruding stone mountains in the distance. The black clouds in mid-air are not clouds, but extremely thick death aura. Silence. Depressed. Lifeless. This is a magical land. Is this Kongsang Mountain? Tai Zhenjun said disappointedly. No matter how you look at it, this is not a blessed place like the Wuji Mountain Kinkan Cave. Go look inside. After that, Su Junming flew forward first, and the three of them quickly followed. Thanks to the book friend /U0026amp, /U0026amp, wandering /U0026amp, /U0026amp, 1500 starting coin for the reward, thank you very much. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 921. The boundless sea of bones passed by beneath his feet. Most of them have been broken into bone powder, and some of the remaining ones are separate ribs and leg bones. Their original shapes cannot be seen at all, and naturally they have no idea of their origins. But obviously, these are not human bones, but demon bones or bones of other races. Judging from the remaining traces, they all existed in the Yuan Yang and Tai realms during their lifetimes, but now they have all become part of the Sea of Bones. Occasionally, the remaining magic weapons can be seen from these white bones, but because it has been too long, they have become useless. Occasionally, they appear in some mountains, but there is nothing but hard rock. After crossing the Sea of Bones, a huge mountain appeared in the distance. This mountain is so huge that just a cross-section is more than 1 billion miles away. It's hard to imagine how high it is. The 4 of them flew for 2 full hours before they arrived. Halfway up the mountain, a stone monument carved on the mountain appeared in front of my eyes. Above are 3 large and complex words. Empty Mulberry Mountain. This is an ancient demon text. The Dragon Emperor recognized it instantly. Thanks to the blessing of the bronze mirror on understanding, both Su Junming and his Ki Pao Taoist body are both knowledgeable and well-informed people. The Dragon Emperor recognized the ancient demon script, and naturally Su Junming, Tai Zhenjun, and Chen Xianzang also recognized it. Looking at the situation inside, it should be part of the ruins of the ancient heaven Chen Xianzang guessed. The Lich War back then was extremely brutal. Although the main battlefield is in Buzhu Mountain, heaven is also one of the battlefields. The endless army of liches died on the battlefield, the ancient world was shattered, and the heaven fell into ruins. I don't know how many fragments of the ancient world fell into chaos. This Kongsang mountain is probably one of them. Looking up at the thick death aura above, Su Junming flew up. The three of them quickly followed. After flying thousands of feet high, they arrived in front of the aura of death. The four of them have extremely high cultivation levels and are protected by rare treasures. The death energy at the bottom cannot do anything to them. After passing through 30,000 feet of deathly energy, his eyes suddenly became clear. Aura. After this death energy, thin spiritual energy appeared. Chen Xianzang stretched out his hand, and a faint white aura appeared in his palm. It's still the innate aura of Tai Chi. Seeing the obviously thicker death energy above, Tai Zhenjun said doubtfully. Why is there a mezzanine in the dead energy here? Mostly it's because of Kongmalang Mountain. Go and have a look in front. Su Junming flew towards Kongsang Mountain, and in a huge valley, a magnificent palace complex appeared. But these palaces are often thousands of feet high, like the residence of giants. The materials used are extraordinary and extremely gorgeous. It can be imagined how magnificent it was during its heyday. It was definitely a step above the heavenly emperor's palace in the earthly immortal realm. It is a pity that the wind and rain always blow away the wind. Over hundreds of millions of years, these palaces that were dazzled by the war have turned into worthless rubble. Occasionally there are a few complete buildings, but they are also lifeless, like haunted houses. Huge skeletons are scattered in the middle of the palace. Although there are not as many as below, they still fill the entire valley. Judging from the residual aura of these bones, they are obviously stronger, and they are basically strong men from the Yuanyang fairyland or even the Tai realm. After looking around and finding nothing, the four of them continued to fly upward along the mountain. After another tens of thousands of feet, they touched the second layer of death. The concentration of death energy here is obviously better than that on the first floor. Although it is only 20,000 feet, unless you are in the Tai realm and have a treasure to protect you, you can't even think of crossing it. Passing through the thick dead air layer, there is another mezzanine. The spiritual energy here is obviously thicker, with fewer bones and stronger aura. The four of them looked around and found nothing, so they flew straight up. This time the death energy was even stronger. As soon as it came in, it continued to consume Su Junming's protective aura. In an instant, it had already dissipated by a foot. So strong and deadly. Su Junming's heart moved, and the Hunyuan divine gate protected his whole body. After all, it was Deluo Lingbao, and when the death energy touched it, it was instantly blocked. Dragon Emperor, Tai Zhenjun, and Chen Xianzang are all Deluo monks. Although they are just clones and wishful bodies, they also have Deluo magic power and can protect their whole bodies without any problems. The death energy here is only 10,000 feet. Although the thickness is the lowest, its power is better than all the dead energy in front. After passing through, the surrounding spiritual energy increased to a level again, exceeding the concentration of spiritual energy in the earthly fairy world. Look. Look in the direction of Tai Zhenjun's finger. Not far away. A white skeleton with a height of 100,000 feet and 4 arms came into view. All the bones in the white bone chest were broken, and the spine as thick as a mountain was also broken. The 4 arms holding a giant axe, a spear, a long knife and a shield were all broken apart from the last arm holding the long knife. Although hundreds of millions of years have passed, the domineering and murderous spirit of fighting against heaven and earth still remains on these bones. Su Junming flew nearby, flicked his fingers, and a wisp of black soul magic sank into the bones. Roar. Accompanied by a huge roar, a phantom of a demon with a height of 100,000 feet, a leopard head and a tiger tail, 4 arms and a body covered with scales appeared in the air. Although it was just a trace of the remnant soul, the ferocious aura still frightened him. The great witch of the witch clan. The 4 of them understood instantly. The combat power of this great witch during his lifetime was at least as high as that of the great Luo-Jingxian, the Dragon Emperor said. What about them? Tai Zhenjun stretched out his hand and pointed. Surrounding the skeleton of the great witch, there are 3 white skeletons that look like mountains. One looks like a giant tiger, but it has a single horn and 2 tails on its back, with a broken spear passing through its body. Next to it is a dragon-headed beast with a huge skeleton 100,000 feet long, which looks like a unicorn. It died in a miserable state, with its head completely chopped off. The last skeleton looked like a giant eagle, with its wings broken and all the bones in its chest broken, as if it had been beaten to death. Su Junming activated the divine soul magic talisman in his Danshan, and a soul magic power stirred up the remaining soul in the bones. Roar! Ouch! Gah! There were 3 earth-shaking beast sounds in a row. 3 astonishing behemoths appeared in mid-air. A giant 2-tailed tiger as big as a mountain, a unicorn with a whole body of indigo, and a golden-winged rock eagle with black wings, golden beak, and golden claws. Powerful demonic energy soared into the sky from the wreckage. Sensing the demonic aura, an extremely strong evil aura surged from the bones of the great witch next to him, and the bones of 100,000 feet trembled violently. The remnant soul of the great witch with a leopard head and 4 arms also appeared in the air, roaring and looking at the 3 beast souls with murderous intent. Even though endless years have passed, their murderous aura and fighting spirit have not been completely eliminated. Su Junming sighed, waved his right hand, and the 4 remaining souls disappeared into the bones again. The shaking wreckage also returned to silence. Let's go. After passing these 4 giant mountain-like skeletons, we reach the top of Kongsang Mountain. The top of the mountain is not an uneven bulge, but was flattened and turned into a rock platform millions of miles in size. The platform was once covered with exotic flowers and plants, but now only bare tree trunks and lifeless dead vines remain. Surrounded by this lively and lonely forest, there are 3 extremely magnificent palaces. Although there are auxiliary halls around, none of them are as eye-catching as these 3 palaces. Even the front and smallest of the 3 palaces is tens of thousands of feet high and hundreds of thousands of miles in circumference. Looking from a distance, it seems that it is not a palace, but a magnificent mountain. The 4 of them flew forward. The once grand square in front of the hall was already pitted and destroyed. Looking at the traces, it was obviously caused by the 4 liches who died in the battle ahead. Arrive in front of the main hall. Su Junming has never seen such a magnificent door. It is 10,000 feet high and 30,000 feet wide. A huge plaque sits above. The 3-character ancient demon script in the letter. Tiantai Palace. There is no door in the doorframe, but a black and white yin and yang diagram. There is no doubt that this is a prohibition. But the intensity is not high. Su Junming activated the Hunyuan Divine Gate, took a step forward, and instantly arrived at a magnificent hall. Dragon Emperor, Tai Zhenjun, and Chen Xianzang also followed. This place is really big enough, Zhenjun Tai exclaimed. Covering hundreds of thousands of miles of space, it is completely an enlarged version of the palace. It was empty all around, and on the innermost side was a high platform of 10,000 feet. The high platform was in the shape of a lotus and was huge. Behind this lotus-shaped platform is a relief sacred tree. The sacred tree is tens of thousands of feet high, but the charm it reveals seems to be tens of millions of feet tall, majestic, and gentle. At the same time, a strong twilight rhyme emanated from it. Yuegui, Chen Xianzang guessed. It is indeed a laurel tree, but if it is not laurel, we don't know, Su Junming said. Yugui was rumored to be the best innate spiritual root born on the ancient Taiyan star, but none of them had ever seen it. Look up. Dragon Emperor said suddenly. The 3 of them raised their heads together, and above the tall dome, a golden fireball with a diameter of several thousand feet came into view. The sun is really hot. Tai Zhenjun instantly felt the essence of the fireball. It's not just the true sun fire. The three people quickly moved the bronze mirror to take a look. In the midst of the scorching real sun fire, a 100-foot-sized crow with curled wings came into view. Three-legged golden crow. Tai Zhenjun instantly became excited. Chen Xianzang couldn't help but choked and said, "Are you lame in your eyes? This little bird has 2 legs, where does it look like a 3-legged golden crow?" Tai Zhenjun saw that it was true. The crow has only 2 legs under its belly and is not the legendary sun bird. Although this crow is not a 3-legged golden crow, it is still an elf born in the sun. It is born to be able to control the true fire of the sun, and it is also an innate god. It's just a pity. Su Junming sighed. It's a pity indeed. Because the crow is dead, only the body is left to turn into this little sun, which stays here to illuminate the palace. If it is alive, it will also be an innate god of Tai, and our Chongshan Academy will have another true successor, Tai Zhenjun said. I'm even more curious about whose palace this is. The Tiantai Palace? And it's illuminated by the elves of the Sun Star, Chen Xianzang said. Keep reading and you will definitely find clues. Let's go. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 922. You don't want this baby anymore. Tai Zhenjun pointed at the sun above. You can take it if you want, Su Junming said. He, I won't be polite. The lighting here is too wasteful, so you should go suppress my Tai golden ship. However, you have to train it into a treasure for me. Come back to me when you collect enough true sun fire. Now it is connected to become the great Luo Lingbao. It is not enough on its own. I know that, don't worry. Saying this, the 4 of them flew out of the Tiantai Palace and came to the back. What comes into view is another large area of bones. But compared to the skeletons of the previous 4 Luo level beings, these cultivation levels here are obviously from the Tai realm, smaller in size, and not even a residual soul is left. But there are a lot of them. From the steps at the back door of Tiantai Palace to the front door of the second largest palace, there are hundreds on both sides of the tens of thousands of miles of path. Damaged weapons and armor, broken bones, shattered vegetation, large mottled pits, and the dead atmosphere, everything tells the story of the brutality of the war that year. The second largest palace is larger than the Tiantai Palace in front, with a height of 100,000 feet and an area of more than 500,000 acres. The entrance to the main hall is similar to the Tiantai Palace, but the plaque above is written in ancient demonic script. Invite the Moon Palace. The access control of Yeyu Palace is obviously stronger than that of Tiantai Palace in front, but it does not stop Su Junming, who has already understood the formation path to the realm of Luo. After taking Dragon Emperor and the others in, they were surprised. In front of him is not a gorgeous palace, but a laurel tree with a height of 30,000 feet. The rich Taishuanate Taiyan spiritual energy told Su Junming that this Osmanthus tree was an acquired spiritual root. A crescent moon hangs high above the laurel. The rich moonlight spread down, illuminating hundreds of thousands of miles of space. This crescent moon is 10,000 feet long, and in it lies a white rabbit with long ears and red eyes, which is obviously also a celestial being. Unlike the golden crow in the Tai Palace that day, this tailing spirit was still alive, but was seriously injured. The lunar energy emitted by the Osmanthus tree is nourishing the long-eared white rabbit in the crescent moon. This moon rabbit is a Tai Chi innate god, the Dragon Emperor said. Do you want to wake her up? Maybe we can get some secrets about ancient times and the secrets of this place. Tai Zhenjun asked. Su Junming thought for a while and shook his head. Forget it. This moon rabbit has no power inside his body. He must have been traumatized at birth. He may not know the secret of this place. Do you want to accept her as your disciple? Said the Dragon Emperor. Let her join Miao Chufang's family. Her practice of Taiyan is in line with the moon rabbit. He paused and looked at the tall laurel tree. With this acquired spiritual root, our trip will not be in vain. The Dragon Emperor flew up and flew straight towards the huge crown of the laurel tree. This guy is so treacherous. Taizhenjun quickly chased after him. When the group came to the tree crown, they could see a 2-story wooden building 9 feet high and 100 feet wide built on the thickest branch here. Although it still looks extremely tall, it at least looks like a human residence. The wooden building was surrounded by a 3-foot-high fence in front and back, and some plants and trees that could grow under the moonlight were planted inside. There are some stones dotted in the middle, which looks quite delicate. The chai door was ajar, but Su Junming did not rush in. What a strong restriction. Can you untie it? Taizhenjun asked. Of course. But it will take a lot of time to untie it, so that doesn't have to be the case for the time being. Su Junming opened his left palm, and a rusty broken bronze sword appeared. With a gentle wave, accompanied by the sound of cracking silk, blue light lit up in the void mid-air, and the restriction was instantly cut off. Let's go. The 4 of them seized the opportunity and flew in from the crack in an instant. The 4 of them walked to the door. The restrictions here are obviously not as strong as at the courtyard gate. After breaking through, push the door and go in. A hall about 300 meters long appeared in front of him. There is a painting hanging on the wall in the middle of the hall. In the painting is the laurel that everyone saw just now. Of course, the aura revealed by this laurel is obviously 1,000 times stronger than the Ark of the Covenant outside just now. Below the painting are several futons. Because of the passage of time, these futons woven with moonflower grass have become commonplace. There are rooms on the left and right of the hall. If you open the door on the left and go in, you will find a study room. There are hundreds of jade volumes on the bookshelf. Jade plates were the carrier for monks to record texts in the ancient and ancient times. In the Middle Ages, they were mainly gold books, and in modern times, they became jade slips. Jade dishes are actually jade slips connected in series. Rumor has it that it was modeled after ancestor Hung Jun's creation jade dish. Su Junming picked up a jade dish from the shelf. After opening it, there was a beautiful line of ancient demonic writing on it. Taoian treasure record. What a mysterious Taoian technique. Su Junming was amazed in his heart. What was contained in this Taoian treasure record was more mysterious than any Taoian technique he had ever seen. And it was directed at Deluo Jingxian. Come and see. Chen Xuanzang's excited voice came. Dragon Emperor, Taizhenjun, and Su Junming walked over. Chen Laoliu, what are you so excited about? When you see the Hunyuan Kung Fu, my dear. Taizhenjun instantly became excited. The Dragon Emperor's cold face also showed a look of disbelief. Su Junming snatched it away. To make them so excited, there is a line of demonic writing written on the jade plate. I listened to a lecture in Xixiao Palace and picked up the relics. Xixiao Palace preached, which was a landmark event in the prehistoric era that divided the ancient and ancient times. It was precisely because of Hung Jun's ancestor Xixiao Palace's sermons that the lonely world regained its vitality after the ancient war. Including the later 7 saints, they were all beneficiaries of Xixiao Palace's preaching. Look at what's inside. At the urging of true Lord Tai, Su Junming started the follow-up. It is obviously different from Zhuangziu in Taoian Bailu. The ancient demon texts here are extremely wild. They describe everything, including the 5 elements, yin and yang, wind and thunder, divination, alchemy, formations, and sacrificial vessels, but there are more. The way of the sun and the way of the emperor. After the presser foot at the back was exposed, the 4 people exclaimed in unison. Dong Huang Tai. After reading it carefully several times, the domineering and wild demonic text is indeed the 4 characters of Dong Huang Tai. Although a long time has passed, there are still very detailed records of ancient demon texts in the major sects of the earthly immortal world, especially those in heaven. Su Junming and the others will never admit their mistake. If you can get the notes of Dong Huang Tai, who is the owner of the inviting Moon Palace, Chen Xianzang took a deep breath and asked after calming down. It should be Wangshu. Su Junming unfolded the Taiyan treasure record in his hand, and finally saw two beautiful demonic texts. Wangshu. According to rumors, Zai and Wangshu were both moon gods. Later, Zai married Jun, the sun god, and was left with 10 golden crows. Wangshu married the sun god Dong Huang Tai and gave birth to a December rabbit, the goddess of the moon. Ho Yi shot at the sun, and only one of the 10 golden crows was left. He was protected by Nuwa and survived the Lich War safely. That moon rabbit outside, isn't it the daughter of Dong Huang Tai and Wangshu? Tai Zhenjun said. Several people exchanged glances. It is rumored that all the 12 moon gods fell in the Lich War. However, 2 eras have passed since the ancient Lich War. Who knows whether it is true or not, Su Junming said. Regardless of whether it is true or not, these books are of great help to us anyway. Once we understand them, we will be able to solve the Deludo realm's skills. Even in the future, we can understand a few things in the Hunyuan realm, Chen Xianzang said. Su Junming nodded and stretched out his hand. The jade plates on the shelf flew into the palms and disappeared. After seeing that nothing was missing, go to the right side of the hall, where is an alchemy room. It took too long, and all the medicinal materials on the surrounding shelves had expired. Many of them were precious medicines from the Deludo realm. Su Junming's body ached when he saw them. Hey, this is mine. Tai Zhenjun had quick eyes and quick hands and took a fan placed on the bagua table next to him. This guy has sharp eyes. Chen Xianzang was quite envious. This fan, originally used to fan the wind, is a Deludo low-grade spiritual treasure. The ancient demon court was wealthy and looked down upon things with a single function. But in today's world of immortals, Deludo Lingbao is an extremely precious treasure. He did not touch the obviously higher grade and more precious alchemy cauldron next to him. Because he knew very well that Su Junming would definitely not give it up to them. After all, the preciousness of the alchemy cauldron lies in refining alchemy. None of them know how to do it, and it would be a waste to hold it in their hands. That's why Tai Zhenjun gave up the most conspicuous alchemy cauldron and took a fan to fan the fire. After seeing that there were no valuable medicinal materials, Su Junming looked at the alchemy cauldron in the middle. The 3-foot-high cauldron has 4 tripod legs. This was the standard format of alchemy cauldrons in the early, ancient times. It was not until the end of ancient times, when Taoist taking invented the 3-legged round tripod, that the 3-legged alchemy tripod gradually replaced the 4-legged tripod and became the standard format of the alchemy tripod, which is still in use today. The red alchemy cauldron has steep walls and exquisite cloud patterns embossed around it. The lid of the tripod is thick, with a round sculpture of a flying phoenix spreading its wings. The phoenix's expression is lifelike, with all the feathers on its body visible, as if it were a living creature. Su Junming's consciousness was immersed, and 9 lavender restrictions came into view. Deludo's top-grade spiritual treasure. There was excitement in my heart. The grade of this alchemy furnace is 1 level higher than the Zizi furnace in his hand. No, there's something inside. Use the bronze mirror to take a look. In the huge cauldron space, 9 pills the size of dragon's eyes were tumbling, 4 of which had turned gray-black, obviously useless pills. The remaining 5 divine patterns loomed, and their spiritual energy soared into the sky. It was obvious that they had been mastered. Noticing Su Junming's demeanor, Dragon Emperor and the others also activated the bronze mirror projection to look at the pill furnace, and also noticed the 5 pills. My dear, this elixir has such a strong aura. What grade is it? The best Deludo. The best Deludo. Tai Zhenjun became excited. What are you happy about? This is not a pill to replenish energy, but to repair soul damage. Although Su Junming has never refined such a high-grade elixir, he can tell the purpose of the elixir just by looking at it. It turns out to be a healing pill. Tai Zhenjun became disappointed.